What did I get while I was on my cruise? Let's find out. Well, as everybody knows, I just went on my first cruise. It was a lot of fun. I did it through Stitchin Heaven, and we went to Mexico and Honduras. The first port was Mexico at Cozumel. Then we went to Roatan in Honduras, and then we came back up to Mexico to Costa Maya. It was a lot of fun, and I got quite a bit while I was out there. The first things first, I'm trying to figure out what I got where, and honestly, I've got a little bit lost. But the first thing I have is this little turtle. It was a souvenir that I found. I believe I found it in Cozumel, just because of the size. Also, while I was in Cozumel, I got a henna tattoo, which I can't rotate my arm enough for you to see. There will be a picture of it in my dump that I will be doing a little bit later this week that says, hey, these are some of the pictures of every place that I went. So that was pretty fun. It was Scooby-Doo, in case you are wondering and you're trying to get previews of it. And the other thing I got, which is making me realize no, I'm not missing anything, I don't think. It's kind of inappropriate. So cover your eyes for the next few seconds if you think you can be offended. I saw this from across the room. I don't know what they have with their infatuation with these, but oh wait, no, I can't show you that yet because that does say that's in Roatan. So apparently all I bought in Cozumel was that little shell thing, because I don't see anything else. I could be missing stuff, and if I'm missing stuff, I will let you know later. Our second stop was Roatan, and that's where we got to pet the sloths. That was my favorite thing. While we were going out, they gave us a couple pieces of Honduran currency. One of them was a coin, which I can't find. It's probably hiding in my backpack somewhere, or just settled somewhere that I can't. Is it like stuck on something and I can't find it yet? But the other is their Roatan bill. Apparently 22 of these makes $1, they said. So I think that was pretty cool to be gifted. I got a magnet that says Roatan. That just because I was like, I want something. It also has sloths on it. So yeah, sloths. I got quite a few things with sloths. In fact, I got a sloth. I so soft and everything too. I couldn't bring home the real thing, unfortunately, but I can. Okay, I can't hang him around my neck, but I can carry him. So cute. You know, sloths are the best. And then the last thing I got is the little bit of an offensive thing. So yeah, now's where your time is to overt your eyes. I saw this from across the way and said, I think I need to get it. It's a little shot glass like thing because it doesn't hold much liquid. So I don't know what you're chugging, but I was like, I got to get it. It's got to go somewhere. It's hysterical. I did not buy anything in Costa Maya, although apparently they're infatuated with that product because they had stone those. And they were heavy, and I'm going to tell you that if I had bought one, it would have put me more overweight in my baggage than I was already. So thankfully I did it. So those were the official souvenirs that I bought. It was pretty cool. I think my favorite thing was actually getting the henna tattoo, even though it kind of smeared a little. And I'm sad that it hasn't even lasted a week, but I know henna tattoos don't last that long. But that's not all I ended up getting on my little vacation. Because, I did it through Stitchin Heaven, so I had access to the sewing room, the instructors, the awesome friends that we met. And if you know anything about the quilting community, they are givers. So in the sewing room, everybody had a excuse me, a ducky put on their machines by somebody. I don't know who put them up, but this was the ducky that was put on my machine. So cute. So I'm gonna have to figure out where I'm gonna put the ducky. Everyone was gifted a itty bitty chicken. So this is the one I got. Such a tiny little chicken. And somebody put on little flamingos on our machines. So I have that one. And Stephanie and I went around to everybody and we put out little duckies. And I got a purple one. So those are what we got from the quilters. But, we did this through Stitchin Heaven. And we got a goodie bag. And I hope that I have everything in the goodie bag in here because I kind of lost track of what was what. The first thing that we all got was a bag of Stitchin Heaven straight pins, which has their little boot logo on it. So that was really nice of them. I don't use pins, so they're just going to be sitting off to the side. But it was kind of fun with that. We all were given a door banner kit. The first one that was in my box was the Christmas one, and there was a couple people who were like, I want Christmas. And I said, well, I'll trade it, and what do you have? And I ended up getting the summer one, which has ice creams and stars on it. So I'm going to be excited to do this at some point. I've been looking at the door banner kits for a while, but I was like, I really don't know if I want to invest in 12 of them. And then I'm just sitting here being reminded of the 12 table runners I made for my sister. So I'm like, maybe I'll just get a couple. So that'll be my gateway drug into it. Also in here, we were gifted a Stitchin Heaven, almost like a Stanley Cup. So we'll call it a pseudo Stanley Cup. And we were gifted a pop-up Stitchin Heaven branded, what are these? Basically bin. Scrap bin as you are doing your stuff, and it is so much fun to try to put these things back together. And I'm going to tell you, if you go on one of their cruises, make sure you have enough weight in your luggage available, because you might go overweight, because I was over by 1 pound. Thankfully, the lady at Delta laughed so hard at my shirt that she's like, I'm just gonna let that wave because you've been a pleasure. So but I was like 1 pound over and I got the tag of shame, but it is what it is. The other thing that we did was, we had 2 instructors. We had Heidi. Heidi's last name is Pridemore. I need to make sure I had that name correctly because Heidi is awesome. And we also had Tiffany Hayes as our 2 instructors. And I purchased both kits because I could not decide which one I really wanted to work on more. And let's see, the first pile I think I can get to easily is Heidi's kit because it's right here. And her kit was called Arctic Elegance. And it is the same block over and over again. She showed us the technique that she does to get all of her pieces. And everything that we got came in pre-cut bags. So I have... Oh, wait. I found something else that was gifted. These little tag thingies. I don't know what they're used for, but it's cute and folly, so there's that. I will be finding things for days because I packed everything as best I could. But for the pre-cut kit, they give you everything pre-cut. So just to give a glimpse of some of the colors. And I got half the pieces half done. I think that's about the math that it is. We have to do square and a square, which was done by snowballing all 4 corners. And it's 2 different ways. And I'm not pulling these out, no offense. Because there is a lot of pieces. So one of the squares and squares, which again is not done, I have packed up in here. The other one, because there's a lot more, is packed in here. But the end square that comes out of it, the end block, is this, which is gorgeous. It's done with a couple flying geese and a couple square and squares. While I was there, I got 2 fully completed. And like I said, I got the rest of the square and square units half completed. They just need to be pressed and trimmed. And then I have the flying geese that I need to start. It was... I think I would have been able to be done by now if I was using my machine. And not on top of my machine, the tables weren't shaking as bad as they were. It was very difficult because, like I said, it's not my machine, it's not my table, and everything just felt wonky. But, you know, that's what happens when you are away not using your stuff. And, yeah, I lived with it. I can survive. And I have no idea what I did with the other project, so hold on for half a second.
12 seconds later.
I found the other project at the bottom of my pile. It came from Tiffany Hayes' book, Splice Magic, which it tells you how to do this really, really cool technique where you can get 3 half square triangles from 1 block. And when you get the 3 triangles, you can make a block like this, or you can do other things with the triangles in order to make a whole bunch of stuff. Does she have pictures? She has a couple pictures of some of the quilts on the back. In fact, this is the table of contents, making sure that I can see everything. So these are the quilts that you can make using her method out of this book. And honestly, it is just, you get all of the triangles that you need, and you are able to put things together in a order that you need. I'm not going to tell you how we make 3 half square triangles out of 1 block, or 1 square. But like the method, you can do it with a 5-inch square, which means you can use charm packs. You can do it with a 10-inch square, which means you can use layer cakes or the non-Moda equivalents. And like I said, you get 3 triangles, which you can lay out like this. You can lay it out like other ways. In fact, one of the quilts has basically large pinwheels and small pinwheels in order for everything to work. I have the kit sewn, but I need to cut all the triangles out. I was going to plan on doing that sometime this week and working on this project potentially this weekend, because she said that it is best that once you get everything cut to lay it out so that you know how you want your colors to fade in and out of each other. And it's so that's what I need to do. I need to get everything trimmed up, cut, and then take it upstairs to my design bed, get the color order, and then I can decide which blocks I want to have the triangles on the bottom and which blocks I want the triangles to be on top, because there's 2 different ways in this pattern that your block can be made. And I'm glancing, making sure I haven't forgotten anything yet so far. And I don't think I have. And that gets us to the things that I purchased. Both Tiffany and Heidi brought a whole bunch of stuff and said, hey, I'm going to be selling this stuff. If you want to buy it, just, generate the list. Let me know how much we owe them. And, settle up at the end of the week. And I bought a few things. Some of it was just really cool stuff from the demos that she showed, or they showed, not just one. And I was like, ooh, I like that. I want to get it. One of the demos was from Tiffany Hayes. She created 2 rulers that do really cool triangles. One of them is a 60-degree triangle tool. So using this tool, you can create a handful of pieces where you could either lay them out on top of each other and you will get a gradient triangle, or you can lay them out in almost like a round robin pattern and get that type of triangle. This apparently is very nice when it comes to ombre fabric, because the demo that she showed used ombre and it came out gorgeous. And then there is also a 90-degree version of that. So if there's anything that you want to use with your 90 degrees, that use 90-degree triangles, you can do that. And we also got it with booklets that say how to use the 60-degree tool. And here is a handful of quilts involving that. And a booklet on how to use the 90-degree tool, and booklet on that. And she had patterns, which I may have bought one of everything. There's Raspberry Dance, ticker tape, knots and crosses, frosted shimmering stars, shoreline stars, toasted spice, which is gorgeous, Tesla 2.0, Peaks and Valleys 2.0, Frosted Winter Stars, Super cool. American Hero. Bespangle. Bear Paw Patches 2.0. Frosted Path. Excuse me. Enchantment. Ombre Pinwheel Party. Luminous. Lotus 2.0. And these couple are using some of those rulers. Radioactive. Ombre Zephyr. Delta 2.0. Ombre Hourglass. Ombre Pinwheel Party. Ombre Geese. Transfixed. Hermosa 2.0. I'm still going, I know. Ombre Sidewinder. Which, that one looks like it allows you to do a lot of custom free motion quilting in the negative space. Faceted Ombre Heart. Sea Stars, which is a gorgeous quilt in person. Garden Stroll. And Mosaic Glory. So, it is a giant pile of these patterns. And then she had a couple block of the months. The first one is called Lady Liberty. The second one is, and this one I kind of fell in love with. It is called Gaia. The third one just really knocked my socks off because it has 4 different fabrics in here. And I said, I kind of like this. So with there's 4 fabrics, it makes it a lot easier for you not to have to do a lot of analysis paralysis of thinking. It is called Asteria, and I thought this was just gorgeous. And then the last pattern. Ooh, look, I found my missing coin. I'll show you that in a second. I knew it would have fallen in something that was easy. The last pattern is called Leto, and this uses 3 different fabrics. Again, gorgeous. And as part of looking at it, she said that it uses a special tool that she created called the Goddess tool. So I had to buy the Goddess tool. It is a multiple items in one tool. It can do half square triangles. It can do 60-degree triangles. It can do the cutting out of some stuff. So she did a demo of it and said, and I was like, that's gorgeous. And in the demo, she also had basically a block project that says that these are the blocks that you can make using the Goddess tool, which was a whole bunch of cool stuff. In here, it has various quilts that you can make using just each individual one of these blocks. And I was like, why did you do this after I had purchased everything? So that was kind of cool. The Roatan coin, which, you know, I'm kind of sad that I missed it. I don't know if I can get my camera to focus. I will have photos of it in my summary of Roatan so that you can see it. But that is... Oh, no. I bought one more thing from Tiffany. I bought this kit of Earthy Love. It's a bunch of heart blocks. And it looks like it's pretty simple because it's just, snowballing 3 corners on each fabric and then putting them together. So I can see me handling this in a fairly quick time. I need to find some backing for it, but, that's for future Russ. And she gave us a needle in a haystack keychain, because that's her company. Got to find some keys to put on it, maybe. And, oh, yeah. I also bought 2 Magic Juice pens with her fabric in it. And I thought these were just gorgeous and everything. And, yeah, now I know I want more of these because I forget the name of the person who makes it. Stephanie of Stephanie Stitches told me once, and I have her, what is that thing called? Etsy shop open, and she makes a lot of these with Tula fabric. So I kind of need to say, hey, can you make me some? Especially with some of the fabric that I have that, it's just mostly scraps, so I don't know what to use it for. So that's Tiffany. And finally, I purchased some stuff from Heidi. I've got a few patterns. We have Twisted Vines, Here, There, and Everywhere, which looks like a lot of fun. Lighting the Tree, which is a cool Christmas one. This one is called Sparkling Water, which I first thought was a whole bunch of curvy stuff, but it's all straight pieces. It's just different types of triangles laid different ways. This one is called House of Color. And Daisy Pinwheels. And the last thing that I got, just because I loved the colors in here, and Stephanie didn't talk me out of it, it's called Coral and Waves. And I am not pulling this out of the box because it was a lot of work. I did also purchase the backing for it, but that is going to take a little bit of time to come in because Heidi needs to go cut it and ship it to me, and she promised to do that. But it came in this really cool project bag, so I was just like, that's really awesome. So that is everything that I managed to spend money on in my trip between, Fort Lauderdale, Mexico, Honduras, and back to Fort Lauderdale. It was a lot of fun. I really, really do suggest to take a cruise. And if you want to do the Stitchin Heaven cruise, I know it's more expensive than a regular cruise. But again, you get access to stuff that you don't get on a regular cruise, and it's extra because you have to pay for all of that extra effort to get the machines on board. You have to get the conference room rented for the group. You have to, pay the wonderful instructors they provide you, and just everything else that comes with a retreat. So there are all kinds of extra ed stuff there. If you math out all of that, it basically ends up being the appropriate price for, a group to have a retreat. So yeah, it's something that I know we don't like to have to pay extras, but If they did another retreat somewhere else and were providing the machines, providing the irons, providing the cutting areas, the cost it takes to ship all of that across to somewhere would basically be that extra cost that you're incurring. So, because they shipped 80 machines, if not more, because they had another cruise after us. So that's a lot of stuff to ship. I mean, I know they do 3 in a row to kind of reduce the cost on everybody, but it was worth it for me, in my opinion. But if you don't do that, you can at least do your own cruise. There is so much stuff to do on board, so much excitement, and lots of fun games, music, food. There was lots of food. There was a lot of food. And there is a lot that is included in your base package, so that, if you go on vacation somewhere, you have to pay for every single meal that you eat. You have to pay for this. You have to pay for that. All your meals are included. I did get the soda package, and the soda package was fairly expensive. Kind of upset about that. I'll talk about more of that in a different video. But, I was stuffed throughout the entire week and all that. And I just realized I'm starting to ramble on because this was supposed to be a video about the haul. So, I spent a lot, but I met some awesome people. I would love to do another class with Heidi and another class with Tiffany again in the future. So I will be looking out on their schedules to see if they're doing anything near that I might be able to get in on. I've heard that Heidi is doing a retreat in the same location that Stephanie does her retreats, but they're all sold out and all that. So it'll be a while before I could probably get in on that. But I had a lot of fun, and like I said, the pre-cut kits, those were very nice, made everything so easy. I was able to get in there, start sewing. I just didn't like the machines, and that's just a Rust problem, not a Stitchin Heaven problem, nothing else. So yeah, get your cruise on. Go see the sloths. They were awesome and cute. I'm sad that we didn't get to hold them, but I might have something up in my sleeve future on that. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and an awesome week. Toodles!